Hi, in this video, I continue the 2D to 3D video series. For this drawing of my son, let me add the sphere and design its head. Validate and subdivide. Before starting sculpting, let's get both sphere and image to reset view. It is necessary to consider the shape of his head well, because it has hair above. I can use repeaters for these. First of all, shape the head into a normal human head shape and sharpen the corners of his chin. Let's start. Turn to right position and widen with red circle. To shape the head, let's close the background image and start shaping. Since the symmetry is on, we must be clear so that the shaping is symmetrical. To imagine the normal human head, I thought we could shape it better by adding a cylinder and making a neck. First, validate and subdivide neck and sculpt head with this neck. Make the sharp corners of chin, nape, and others. Open the image and adjust its chin from the front. Raise the radius and, considering the hair on the head, drag the upper part a little up and to the sides. Let's make the ear using the tube tool. Replace the tube on ear we see in the image, and by editing the radius of tube and gizmo, try to make it look like the ear. Now let's create the other ear in a symmetrical place with the mirror. Let's continue to use the tube tool and do the hair coming out from behind the ears. Shape it according to the image. You have to plan before sculpting. Now let's make the first row of hair after these hairs. Select tube tool and put tube on head, shape as one piece of hair. From scene menu, choose radial from repeaters and give value 15 to radial Y. Let's thin the hair with the red radial of gizmo and try to replace them on the head. For now, it is enough to replace them on head, then we can give shape one by one when we separate it from the group. I'm passing here fast, because the aim is to put the hair on the head, as I said before. We can move here with the selection of radial and tube with gizmo, but the movements we will do only when the tube is selected is limited. Select radial, tap validate and choose uninstance, then shape the hair with drag tool similar to the image. Let's open the image. While shaping it, it is important to decrease the radius or large parts will be dragged. After shaping triangle hairs in the first layer by dragging, I will combine the side hair and these hairs with the head. I'll add new hair later. Let's turn off the selection and view of the ears, validate mirror as join children, select all except ears, and remesh with voxel merge by giving 200-300 values to resolution. Smooth all merged places. Let's make the second row of hair with the tube tool. Shape one first as we did before and multiply it with radial. After choosing radial, let's give the value of radial Y12 and place the second row in the middle with the gizmo. We can actually do this hair in other ways, but I decided to do it this way because the hair is of different color. For example, when trying to place them, it was necessary to increase the number of hairs. So I'm going to try making the number 15. Yes, I think it's done now. Validate radial, choose an instance and shape them one by one. The color of head will be different, so it is necessary to put them under the ones below. Now let's make the third row of hair with the same method. As we go upper rows, we will decrease the radial number. Now I gave 12 for the third row. The procedure is the same. Our hair looks nice, so let's validate with join children. Finish the setting up and make the fourth and fifth rows, and this difficult process will be over. I need to make small adjustments so that his head is not visible through the hair. After completing all the rows, I will check one by one. My son made a hero, but now this hero looks like a pineapple. I show him the progress of the drawing and he says it looks like a pineapple too. Let's choose the mirror of the ears and validate it by choosing keep instance. Let's name all the objects to avoid confusion and subdivide ears. Select the ear and draw the eye seen in the ear in the image with the mask tool. Open the layer menu and add a layer. Each object has a separate layer. Only painting and shaping are recording. You can record most things to do on the ear right now in the layer menu. Tap to screen and invert the mask. Turn with gizmo and drag it down so that a hole will form in the ear where we masked it. Let's check the layer we have recorded. Is it recorded? Yes, our transaction has been recorded. What does this mean? We can delete this layer at any time and the process will be gone. Now let's open a new layer and call it Paint and paint the place where we made the mask. Let's open a new layer, give it another name and paint the ears. Tap to screen to invert and paint the ears. As you can see, we record our coloring and shaping on separate layers. We should definitely do this recording. It will be very useful. When we press these 3 points of the layer, from the opening menu, press Color Mask, tap the screen to invert and then change the color of ear color. Select third row, open a layer and paint. You see it's very easy and useful. First the object will be selected, open a layer to that object, and record. Select face and in layer menu rename the layer as mouth. Select mask tool with low radius and draw the mouth. Make sure to mask everywhere. Decrease the radius for sensitive areas. Tap to screen to invert. Turn with gizmo and drag down gizmo to make hole. Now what I want to show here is that the parts of the 2 ears inside the head are visible where we put them. What should I do? Voxel merge. Now let's undo the process and connect the ears to the head. Select the ear and the face, give the resolution about 200 values and remesh. Let's repeat the process. Invert and drag down. As you can see, the parts of the ears that are disappeared. Before clearing mask, color the inside. Open a new layer for mouth color. And color with stroke painting. Clear mask and smooth mouth but don't smooth in the color layer. Let's look our records. Yes, as you can see everything is recorded. Our mouth is done. Open a new layer and give a name, then mask to color the inside of the eyes and record. Tap to screen to invert and color the mask area. Clear the mask. Let's continue our eye. Add sphere for the circle in the middle of the eye and minimize it with a gizmo and place it in place. Let's clone it and place it in the other eye. Choose Tube tool, put a tube in both eyes for the skin around the eyes. Set the tubes with radiuses, open the image after validate, subdivide and draw the shape around the eye. Let's use a drag tool with a low radius to make the shape seen below. I think it would be better if we zoom in a little bit more. Let's zoom the image with the object. Yes, our character started to form gradually. In this section, which I pass quickly, I only drag places similar to images with the drag tool. Reduce the radius, but if it decreases too much, the topology may change. We need to work very carefully. I think it's done. I'll check with the final touches later. Now let's create the teeth with the tube tool. We can do it in 2 ways. Tap to solo to shape it more comfortably. Let's put the tube in the mouth, then validate and subdivide the tube and select the insert tool. I will first insert them randomly using the insert tool and then fix it, then clone the others. Let's go through this quickly. I'm trying both methods. After inserting the tubes using the insert tool, let's open an image and place them one by one to their places. Clone a few of them. Both methods are good, but I think cloning was easier for this object. We put the teeth in their place. Now let's do the tongue. For this, let's add a sphere and ovalize it a little and put it in place. Use the tube tool for the long dangling tongue. Let's put tube on image and give it a downward curved shape with radiuses. Tap to radius. Now all the parts are complete. It's time for some drawings and coloring on the image. Validate and subdivide tongues. I opened a new layer for face and masked the green mask on the face by going over it. Tap to screen to invert the mask and color. Clear the mask. Now I'm going to show you something important. The layer that we color the entire face is at the top, and when that happens, the layer we paint as a mask is at the bottom, so it is not visible. So we need to take the mask layer above the face. Let me show you. Mask the green mask and color. Clear the mask. Mask the ear in the same way and color. Now paint the whole face. As you can see, the brown color turned off the green color. Now we will hold the layer we painted the whole face and move it down under the green mask. This is not enough. We have to carry it under the ear. If you want, you can combine the ear and mask later. We made the neck for shaping. Now we can close it. Let's open a layer for eyes and draw image shapes. Change the matte cap to white clay to see the paint. Let's do the dots inside. Paint to pink. Add the lines drawn differently. Paint the tongue. Now our job is to color and decorate. Yes, we painted everything, not missing. While making this shape, my aim is to effectively show some menus in the details. I recommend you to start with tutorials to understand better. Let's switch to PBR mode from the shading menu and look at the lighting with the environments. I'll come to the end of my video. If you want to learn more, please check out my other videos.